Checkpoints is presented by pharmaceutical company GM Pharma. Last week, several announcements were made regarding the National Bank of Georgia. After extensive and in-depth discussions, Mikhail Kobakhidze appointed Natia Turnava as president of the National Bank of Georgia, following her nomination by the bank's board. The board unanimously decided to nominate Natia Turnava for the presidency during their meeting. The outcome is the result of sleepless nights of discussions and efforts by members of the Georgian Dream Party in parliament, leading to the approval of all four candidates for the National Bank's board by Mikhail Kobakhidze. It's unclear how much time and thought Mikhail Kobakhidze invested in selecting the board members, but Parliament's plenary session unanimously approved their candidacies without discussion. Prior to this, the Finance and Budget Committee of the same institution, Georgian Parliament, took just 1 hour and 5 minutes to hear all four members. Thus, there are no longer any vacant positions on the National Bank's board. In her capacity as a newly appointed president of the National Bank, Ms. Turnava will testify in the court case Ivanishvili versus Bachiashvili, where she will discuss the 21st century findings of the National Bank Supervisory Service and confirm the requalification of an 8-year loan agreement in favor of the plaintiff, Bidzina Ivanishvili. The number of members in the Georgian parliament, meanwhile, has decreased to 101, a shocking development that occurred after the plenary session supported the early termination of mandates for deputies from 3 political unions. Members of the For Georgia Gakharia party, who secured 12 mandates, according to Central Election Commission results, have not requested mandate termination. As a result, the 10th convocation of the Georgian parliament will continue its work with 89 men and women. The Parliamentary Bureau of Georgian Dream supported the Foreign Relations Committee's appeal to recall members from Georgia's permanent delegation to the Parliamentary Assembly of the Council of Europe. Despite the recall of members, the delegation is not dissolved. It remains, stated the ruling party. Later in the week, their leader received a call from the Council of Europe, informing them that Secretary General Alain Berset is concerned about the Georgian government's change of position regarding amendments to the foreign influence law. It is noted that Kobakhidze informed Alain Berset that he no longer wishes to participate in the working group to amend the Russian law. Georgian Dream is tightening legislation. Administrative fines and detention periods are increasing to 60 days. Verbal insults towards state political officials and public servants are now defined as offenses. The term of criminal imprisonment for resistance, threats, and violence against police officers is increasing to 5 to 6 years, categorizing it as a serious crime in the specific case. In short, as the classics of the parliamentary majority genre say, these changes are implemented to prevent the fascist actions of pseudo-liberals. Unable to withstand the historic decisions of the Georgian parliament, Irakli Kobakhidze embarked on an official visit to Kazakhstan, where he held meetings with the country's president and prime minister. It is said that meetings took place in a businesslike and warm atmosphere. According to a report by the State Treasury, 806 million Georgian lari were collected in the budget from VAT in January, which is 7 million lari less than in January 2024. This amount is not significant for the multi-billion revenue of the state budget. However, it is important to prevent a trend of declining revenues, which our fiscal, administrative, and ever just a second state services will strive to avoid. Last week, Levan Gobechia, head of the Revenue Service Debt Management Department, resigned. Gobechia announced this on social media. An 18-year epic has ended. Great victories lie ahead, accompanied by the flags of Georgia and the European Union. In response to BMG's question about the reason for leaving, Kobakhidze said he does not wish to comment. According to Geostat, in January 2025, the inflation rate in Georgia was 0.4% compared to the previous months, and the annual inflation rate was around 2%. Following MR's Group 6 billion investments, the Georgian government is announcing another major investment project. Exim Holding subsidiary Adjara Energy will invest $460 million in the energy sector. According to a government statement, the investment project includes the construction of 5 wind and 1 solar power plants with a total installed capacity of approximately 360 megawatts. A meeting between tourism industry representatives and the Georgian government was marked by intense and emotional discussions. Some of the companies present pointed out problems in the sector, including concerns over a decline in tourist numbers. Meanwhile, the National Tourism Administration expressed optimism about 2025. This comes despite industry's concerns about various challenges, including reduced bookings due to the current political situation. The Checkpoints is presented by pharmaceutical company GM Pharma.